Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to start our chapter number 7, and it is about a poem. Name is From Our Railway Carriage. Okay. If you see the name of the poem, From Our Railway Carriage. Okay. So you can easily understand that this poem is totally about a journey. Okay. A poet's journey. Railway carriage. Carriage means coach. Okay. There are many coaches you have seen in the railway stations, in the railways. So he is talking about a carriage where he sits and sees the sceneries and sees the natural scenes, and he is describing that things when he sees the natural sceneries from a window or through a window. Okay. So the poem From Our Railway Carriage is written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Okay. Robert Louis Stevenson. Yes. He was born in 1850. 1850. He was born in 1850 in Edinburgh. Okay. Edinburgh is a hilly capital in the Scotland. So he was born in 1850 in Edinburgh, and he was died in 1894. Born in 1850 and died in 1894. Means that you will first memorize 18 and then 50 and 94. Okay. You will age 94 here. Okay. He was Scottish novelist, poet and essayist. Okay. Scottish means he belongs to Scotland. He was born here and he spent his life there and died here. That's why he is called Scottish, because he belongs to Scotland. Okay. Novelist means he wrote many novels, just like famous novels of Robert Louis Stevenson are Treasure Land and Kidnapped. Okay. These two books are mentioned in your poem in the introduction paragraph. That's why you have to learn or memorize these two names. Okay. Maybe they come in the MCQs paper, or maybe they come in the questions, and you have to memorize these famous novels and all kind of knowledge about the poet Robert Louis Stevenson, because you have to write the introduction before writing the central idea, main idea, or the message and theme of the poem. That's why you have to memorize these things. So the famous novels of Robert are Treasure Land and Kidnapped. Okay. So he was a novelist, poet and essayist. This is the brief introduction of the Robert Louis Stevenson, and he wrote a poem From a Railway Carriage. Okay. Now if we start our poem, before starting that, if I say or if I ask you, have you traveled before, or have you any experience about travel? So what things come in our mind? Yes, when we about to travel somewhere, so there are the early preparation for the traveling. Just like we prepare ourselves for the traveling, we book the tickets. Maybe they are for railways, they are for airplanes, they are for coaches and etc. Okay. And many things we have to do before the traveling, just like we prepare our luggage and etc, just preparation for the clothings, eating, and a lot of things are there. So basically journeys in our life and travel in our life. They give us a lot of experience. They give us a lot of just pleasure, a lot of happiness, and we experienced a lot of things when we sit in our carriage, in our coach, in the train or coach or our car, etc., any kind of vehicle, any kind of just like cars and etc. Okay, so when we sit beside the window and we just see a lot of things, they are just passing in the wink of eye or in the blink of eye. So we experienced a lot of things. We see many just like gardens, many deserts and hills, and children, they used to play in the gardens and in the streets, etc. We see the rivers, streams, lakes, canals and etc. Okay, so journey or the travel, they give us a lot of experience, and this kind of experience shares the poet in his poem From a Railway Carriage. Okay, I start from the introduction of the poem, and it is on the page number 26 to 626. Okay, so you may open the book, come to the page number 26. There is a poem From a Railway Carriage. Okay, first I read the introduction paragraph of the poem. Okay, I have told you and I have written just the basic knowledge and information about the poet and about the poem, but I have to read this, and I will write the difficult words on the board. Okay, so this From a Railway Carriage, this poem is written by Robert Louis Stevenson. He was born in 1850 till 1894. Okay, he is a Scottish novelist, poet and essayist. He was born in Edinburgh. His formal education was greatly interrupted by illness and was frequently taken for holidays. He tried to study engineering, then law, but in 1873 he decided to embark upon a literary career. His novels Treasure Land and Kidnapped are well known. In another word, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, he shows how every individual has tendencies to do both good and evil. He really loved children and understood them. This poem shows his skill as a poet. Okay, so in the first two lines there is a early and basic knowledge of the Robert, and then he is writing about the life of Robert, that his formal education was greatly interrupted. Interrupted means he could not continue his study because he was ill. He fell ill and was frequently taken for holidays, and after that when he came to join, he couldn't continue his study. He tried to study engineering, then law. It was his dream. He wanted to be engineer and then lawyer, but it couldn't be possible. That's why in 1873, okay, so you have to memorize that year, 1873, he decided to embark. Embark is the word. Okay. Course of an action. Okay, course of an action means he just wanted to do something. If it couldn't possible, he will be an engineer or a lawyer. So he embarked means he wanted to do something different. Okay, so upon a literary career he embarked. What he embarked? The course of an action means he started his career, his literary career. Literary career means he wrote many novels, poetry and essays. So this is the literary career of the Robert. And there are two books, Treasure Land and Kidnapped. Okay, every individual has tendencies. tendencies means, tendency basically is the plural of tendency, okay, which means that this is a kind of characteristics of a type of behavior, okay, what you refer most. So this is your behavior, and this is called tendency or tendencies. Okay, he really loved children and understood them. This poem shows his skill as a poet. So this is a very interesting poem for the children. Okay, I read the first stanza. First, you have to know that there are 4 stanzas in the poem, and you know very well what is a stanza. Okay, a complete paragraph of a poem which convey one message, and there are 16 verses. Each line of the poem is called verse. So there are 16 verses and 4 stanzas are there. Each stanza contains on 4 verses. Okay, I read the first stanza of the poem. Faster than fairies, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadow, the horses and cattle. Okay, faster than fairies, faster than witches. So in this stanza, in this paragraph, the poet is describing just the imaginary things. Okay, just you may seen fairies and witches in the just like a 3D animated cartoons, movies. They are just imaginary beings. Okay, so fairies are the beautiful imaginary being, and they have just powerful magics, and witches, they are just wicked or all kind of women. They have magical powers, and even they can just travel in the air, through the air. Okay, bridges and houses. Yes, he is saying hedges and ditches. What are hedges? Just like you have seen in the gardens, there are just boundaries, and they are covered with plants. Okay, if you visit any kind of garden or museum etc, okay, so you may see just boundaries, okay, throughout the garden or the paradise, or throughout the garden, okay, around the garden, and they are covered with plants, and there are a lot of gate type etc boundaries, so they all are covered with plants. They are hedges. And ditches are just like a narrow channel dug in a garden for the planting or maybe for the boundaries. And charging along like troops in a battle. Okay, I do not write all difficult words on the board because you may see there are a lot of difficult words mentioned in your poem, okay, line by line. So you may see here just like fairies, beautiful imaginary beings who have magical power, witches, wicked old women who could work magic and fly through the air, and hedge, a row of bushes or tall plants forming a boundary. Ditch, a narrow channel dug in or between fields or at the side of a road to hold or carry off water. Okay, so charge means to attack. Here if means to rush forward, move fast. So, and charging along means to move fast, as you are traveling in the railway. So you have seen that railways are passing very fastly. That's why they are just like troops in a battle. Okay, the troops, group of soldiers, they are just fighting back, or they are fighting, they attack and the battle. So the scenes or the sceneries when you are traveling in the railway, they are just passing like that troops in a battle, all through the meadow, the horses and cattle. Okay, now what is meadow? A grassy field, okay, where you may see that horses and cattle, okay, they just beside the cattle farms or maybe they just like a ground, there are a lot of grass, and the cattle, they can easily their food from there, means the grass. Okay, so it is meadow. Aggressive field, the horses and cattle. Okay, now come to the next stanza. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again in the wink of an eye painted stations whistle by. Okay, all of the side. All of the sides mean all the sceneries or all the things you are seeing there of the hill and the plain. Okay, hill just rocks and plain just the ground there. Fly is thick. Basically the things, they are not flying and you are not flying, but when the sides, they are passing just like a wink of an eye. That's why he compares these things as you they are flies as thick, means they pass so quickly as driving rain. Okay, so the scenes are just like the driving rain, and ever again in the wink of an eye. So there is a word fly is thick, pass so quickly on the page number 27. If there was no distance between them, driving rain, hard slanting rain. Okay, the wink of an eye, the time it takes to shut one eye for a very short time, just like that. Okay, blink of an eye, you just shut your eye and then again immediately open your eyes. So the scenes or the sides are passing just like that. Painted stations means there are stations. Whistle by, so what is the meaning of whistle by? Means when the fast train goes past a station, a whistling sound is produced, and we just come to know that the train is going now. So this is a warning sound that now the train is leaving the station. This is called a whistle by. Okay, now the third stanza of the poem. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and there is the green for stringing the daisies. Okay, so in this stanza, in this paragraph, the poet sees a child who is scrambling and scrambling. Okay, scrambling and scrambling. Okay, the both words are different, just little bit different. Okay, clambers and scrambles. So what the child is do, he is scrambling and scrambling, and what does he do? He is basically collects the bushes and the woods for the fire or for making food and etc. A lot of things are there. They just want to collect them, maybe for selling and maybe for just earning their bread. Okay, here is a child who clambers and scrambers. Clamber means he is climbing, okay, over the hill or over just like a hilly area, but what's happening, he is scrambling. Clamber means he just there are a lot of bushes and a lot of just dry leaves. He just okay, he is going through these kind of scenery, but what happened, he is scrambling, means to move with difficulty over rough or steep ground. Okay, and clamber, to climb with some difficulty. Okay, all by himself and gathering brambles. Bramble means thorny bushes, okay, for burning fire and etc. Here is a tramp. Tramp means a homeless person who stands and gazes. Okay, so tramp, a homeless person who goes from place to place and does no regular work. Okay, and he is gazes, just like gazes means to see or to watching the things just like that. Okay, steadily. And there is the green for stringing. Stringing means the bunch of flowers and plants, and daisies means a beautiful flower, just like they are in the white color and there is yellow in the mid of these flowers, and they are a lot groaning area or in the gardens. Now the last stanza of the poem. Here is a cart run away in the road. Here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with man and load. And here is a mill and there is a river. Here is a mill and there is a river, each a glimpse and gone forever. Okay. So in this paragraph there are two things. Number one, a cart runner. Okay. Now there is a cart runner who is limping because there is a lot of load in the car and there is no cattle or just no horse and etc. So he is run away that cart by himself. Okay. And here is a mill. Mill means just like where just they work on the grain. Okay. And there is a river, and most of the time or mostly the mills they just beside the rivers. Okay. Each a glimpse means just like a blink of an eye or immediately, and gone forever. Okay, of course they are gone forever because now you are just leaving that area or scene, and the train or the railway it is basically moving very fast, so that's why the scenes or the sights they are gone forever. Okay, there are meanings of the difficult words on page number 27. To string to make a garland. Daisy, it is one of the commonest wildflowers in Britain. The green, a grassy common land in a village. To lump, to move heavily and awkwardly. Okay, a glimpse, a brief look. Okay, so now there is exercise, and there are two questions in the exercise and idiomatic structure explained. So you may just learn these idioms, but do not copy these idioms in your copy. Okay, you have to copy all work from our web portal. You may learn these idioms, but do not write over the copy. So you will copy the question answer, central idea, and reference to the context in your copy. Okay, if you have any query, you may ask the things, and take care. Allah Hafiz.